A judge says the Johnstown city manager is not qualified for the job. What the mayor had to say about that ruling.
You could not see more than a foot or two in front of you. We had to evacuate roughly a dozen homes.
Tires burning for hours this afternoon, sending huge clouds of smoke into the air. What officials are warning residents about tonight.
South winds, highs in the 60s today. Some cloud cover tonight, keeping temperatures very warm.
And a local ice rink closing while the owners say they have to shut their doors. 11 at 11 starts right now.
6 News, 11 at 11. 11 minutes of news before the first commercial starts now.
Good evening and thanks for being here. We have continuing coverage tonight of a massive tire fire in Bedford County. In fact, firefighters were there all night, only left about an hour ago, and Sarah Small is in Everett with what's expected to happen throughout the night. Sarah?
Well, Marty, it's much calmer here now than it was several hours ago. Where I'm standing is where hundreds of tires were burning for several hours today. About 100 emergency responders were here trying to contain it. Several homes had to be evacuated, but the best news in all of this is no one was hurt. Now, Covison says there shouldn't be a boil water notice for this. He says to contact your local municipality if need be. Now, we will have much more continuing coverage on this fire on 6 News at sunrise, as well as WJACTV.com. Reporting live tonight in Everett, Sarah Small, 6 News.
A man sentenced for robbing a Rite Aid pharmacy in Richland Township this past summer. The Johnstown Tribune-Democrat reports Cecil Barnhart will spend 2 to 5 years in jail. Barnhart went into the pharmacy wearing a wig and sunglasses in August, demanded money from clerks, and also got away with prescription pills. News since 6, the Cambria County Coroner Jeff Lee says police and EMS were called to a home on Bedford Street in Dale today. Lee said a 50-year-old man, John Lopez, was found on the first floor of the residence, and they treated it as a possible heroin overdose. Law enforcement and the Drug Task Force still investigating what happened. One woman appeared to be arrested at that scene. Also new tonight, a Clearfield County man who fired shots at a bar was sentenced 7 to 9 years in prison. Russell Schick shot at George's Tavern in October of 2013, injuring one man. The Altoona Mirror reports Schick originally faced 12 felonies, but in a plea agreed to 1 felony count of aggravated assault. Today, a Cambria County judge ruled against the city of Johnstown, voiding the contract of Melissa Komar as city manager. This decision comes a week after a hearing between the city and 2 council members. The city's administrative code requires the city manager to possess an education in public management, which Komar doesn't have. The next step is for the city to decide if it will file an appeal in the next 30 days. Johnstown's mayor said, "I respectfully disagree with the court ruling. I strongly believe that Melissa Komar meets the educational equivalency for the position." The majority of city council is still 100% supportive of Melissa Komar, and I feel an appellate court ruling will be in our favor. New at 11, Planet Ice in Richland Township will close. The Johnstown Tribune-Democrat reporting the ice rink will close at the end of July. The owner saying 3 ice skating facilities in Cambria County are not sustainable. Nearly $200,000 worth of equipment will be donated for use at the Cambria County War Memorial Arena and the North Central Recreation Center in Evansburg. Operations will remain normal at Planet Ice until it closes to allow the facility to be converted for another use. A chilly start, but turned out to be a pretty nice day.
Really nice out there this afternoon, Marty, after starting off in the low and mid-20s. Temperatures surging today into the 60s.
New tonight in Cambria County, a Dale man pleading guilty to robbing a Family Dollar store. Jeremy Passo went into the store on Bedford Street in November, showed a weapon, and left with a few $100s. That weapon, later determined to be a cap gun. Police said the robbery was drug-related and sentencing is scheduled for June. A 3-day trial in Clearfield County ended this afternoon. Brian Schaefer found not guilty of both first and third-degree murder and aiding suicide, but the jury did find him guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Police say Brian Schaefer loaded his gun and gave it to Amiana Sanchez before she shot herself.
What was troubling about the investigation was the location of the gun when the police first arrived. It wasn't where you would expect it to be had it been a suicide. The defendant made inconsistent statements describing the event, which is clearly something that raises an eyebrow.
They say Schaefer first told police he was upstairs when he heard a gunshot, later changed his story to handing her the gun and watching her shoot herself. A fired Ligonier police officer has been ordered to stand trial on charges he pointed a gun at his ex-wife's husband, threatening to kill him. Corporal Edward Hewalt was fired in February after police say he was in uniform and on duty when he pointed a pistol at Charles Nupps. His attorney says he'll present evidence at trial showing Nupp investigated or instigated that confrontation. A Cambria County man believed to be driving an ATV home from a bar that went off a cliff, killing his wife, was not given a blood alcohol test the night of the accident. Conemaugh Township Police say the responding officer was told by an assistant district attorney in Cambria County not to give the test because the accident happened on private property. And while there is no evidence that man was drinking, a state college attorney said a blood alcohol test can be given for an accident on any property that's accessible to the public.
I'm a little surprised that they wouldn't say at a minimum, we have reason to believe, we have probable cause to believe that this is a traffic way, and get the blood.
The assistant district attorney handling the case says he's still waiting for reports from state police and the investigation continues. An appeals court ruled today it will not reconsider a decision that threw out some of the most serious charges against 3 former Penn State administrators for their handling of the Jerry Sandusky scandal. The court denying the Attorney General's office petition to re-argue in the case of administrators Graham Spanier, Gary Schultz, and Tim Curley. A lower court threw out charges of perjury, obstruction, and conspiracy, and the appeals court today upheld that decision. New information in the case of a volunteer firefighter reporting a fire that didn't exist. A fire chief says Dustin Beckwith, a probationary volunteer firefighter, called in a false report of a fire in Altoona along 58th Avenue. Almost 100 emergency responders showed up to battle a blaze that wasn't. The Logan Township United Fire Department said it has a zero-tolerance position related to criminal violations. A state college doctor is being charged for letting unlicensed staffers in his office x-ray patients. Dr. Germani Paul Catapali, known as Dr. Paul to his patients, appeared in court today. While acknowledging the accusations, the defense terms it a technicality because the doctor was on hand for all the x-ray procedures in question. His preliminary hearing continued and rescheduled for May. Pipeline project continues to bring protest in Huntington County. Sunoco Logistics has been permitted to construct a 350-mile pipeline. Today, a woman was arrested trying to stop crews from cutting down a tree she thought her daughter was on. Ellen Gerhardt crossed the safety boundary sheriff's deputies were enforcing when she ran toward the tree.
It just deeply upsets me to watch her mother be taken away for trying to save her daughter's life.
She's been charged with indirect contempt of court and disorderly conduct. Jerry Sandusky expected to be back in a Center County courtroom in early May. His appeal process is still underway, and the presiding judge in the case has set a May 2nd hearing date to review evidence Sandusky's attorney wants to introduce. Sandusky convicted in 2012 on more than 40 counts of child sex abuse. Authorities in Huntington and Blair counties currently looking for a man who went missing on Tuesday. Police say Byron Hawthorne disappeared after taking his dog for a walk on state game lands near the Canoe Creek State Park. That's where police say they found his car. He was reported missing by his wife, last seen at his home Tuesday morning. Anyone who's seen him is asked to call police. Defense attorneys say a Somerset County priest convicted of sexually assaulting children during missionary trips to Honduras has paid $70,000 in fines and restitution. The filing of the payments answers claims by federal prosecutors that Joseph Maruzio was trying to hide his real estate and financial assets by transferring them to his niece. His defense attorneys say the niece took control of the assets so she could pay a $50,000 fine and $20,000 restitution to 2 victims. Maruzio is serving more than 17 years in prison. The University of Pittsburgh has settled a lengthy lawsuit with a transgender student who used to attend Pitt Johnstown. The lawsuit dismissed by Seamus Johnston, who appealed the decision. He was expelled from Pitt Johnstown for a dispute over his use of men's bathrooms and locker rooms. The 74-year-old man killed in a car accident Tuesday in Blair County identified today. An assistant county coroner says Michael McGagan was the driver of the car. Police say he drove off Frankstown Road and hit 3 trees. One of them landed on the car. Donald Trump under fire tonight. Next on 11 at 11, what the Republican frontrunner said should happen to women who undergo abortions. And later, Penn State's quarterback competition continues. A spring practice report ahead in 6 sports.